We have an enemy called the Invisible Empire that has been fighting what they call a silent war against us in order to exterminate us as a people. And they didn't just disappear when Martin Luther King had a dream. Okay? They didn't just disappear. They didn't just give up their political power and their positions as the leaders of corporate America because we integrated. They openly controlled the entire Congress, 100% of the Congress, and they dared their own people to not vote for them. Okay? This is who we're talking about. All right? They didn't just disappear and racism just disappeared. They tried in the past to exterminate us by using guns, but we would always fight back. And it got to the point where we were actually winning in the 1960s, even though we really didn't know it. So they came up with a new plan, which required them to continue fighting us while pretending to be our friends. And this is what they call benevolent extermination. Okay, and here's a newspaper article, a picture that says exactly how well it's working out for them. See, when they talk about population control, they aren't talking about everybody. They're talking about us. They know how important numbers are and have been worried about how many of us there are for a very long time. And I'll just show you some examples of this, and we'll go from some really old examples to some newer examples so you can see what I'm talking about. See, because we really don't know what slavery is or really was because they changed the definition of it. But slavery was, their definition of slavery was having a job that had a contract where you worked for us. And that's their definition of slavery. See, we don't get that. And I wrote an entire chapter about what slavery really is in the book Lost Along the Way. So you need to really find out because they've got us fooled with this concept of slavery and how they changed the definition of it. Okay. Slavery, according to them, is working on a contract instead of by the hour or instead of by a salary. Okay. And we're the ones who would do that, right? The abolitionists who were fighting to free themselves and their own people rebranded what slavery is. So just keeping that in mind, here's some examples of what I mean and how it relates to population control. So the first example is an article from the Elizabethtown Gazette, January 2nd, 1821. And it states that the prospect before us from the year 1800 to 1810, the white population of the free states, vis-a New England states, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, increased from 2,442,260 to 3,338,492, which is within a fraction of 39%. The colored population in the states during the same period increased a fraction over 11%. The free white population of the slave states, vis-a-vis Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, Kentucky, North and South Carolina, Georgia, and the District of Columbia increased same period from 1.6 million to 1.9 million, a fraction over 19%. The black population of the same period of 904,439 to 1.1 million, about 28%. A South Carolina paper presumes that the result of the present census will give to the white population in the slave states 2,270,005, and to the blacks, slaves, and free men 1,500,000. And that, according to this increase, the blacks will outnumber the whites in the slaveholding states in less than 50 years to come. And that during the lifetime of the grandchildren of the present generation, they will in all probability double the number of whites. Okay? That's the first example. Now, this example is from the Washington Sentinel, March 1st, 1854. And when we read this over, we can just think of immigration. Let's just leave it at that and read the article, okay? Can the North be afraid that the white race will lose its preponderance in this union, or that the non-slaveholding states will lose their relative superiority over the slaveholding states in point of political power? Why, that question of the preponderance of the white race was settled when the law was passed forbidding the foreign slave trade so as to shut out Black immigration, while all possible facilities and encouragement were given to immigrants of the white race. We find that the white race stands now to the Black in proportion of 19 million to 3 million. We find that at each successive census from 1790, the white race has increased and the Black race has diminished its ratio. We find that while at 3% per annum, the Black race is increasing at the annual rate of about 100,000. The white is receiving an annual accession of nearly 300,000 from foreign immigrants alone, besides the annual natural increase of about 600,000 more. The annual increase of the white race as compared with that as the Black is nearly as 9 to 1. Surely then there can be no ground for fear that the white race will lose its preponderance, or that the non-slaveholding will lose their relative political superiority over the slaveholding states. Okay? Now we're going to just move on to this next one. It's from the Elizabethtown Gazette, January 4th, 1820. So that we see that in all the states except Georgia, which is by no means a fair criterion, the difference is in favor of the slaves. And in Virginia, where the difference is smaller, it is little more than 3 to 2 in 20 years. That is, while the white population is doubling, twice the slaves will double 3 times and more. Does it require the gift of prophecy to foretell the ultimate awful catastrophe which must inevitably result should the present state of things continue much longer? Congress ought indeed on the great question which will ere long engage their solemn deliberation to legislate not merely for the present generation, but for posterity. Okay? See, so they're worried about this population. They're worried about not being able to outnumber so-called Black people. They're very worried about this, okay? And they don't care if this has to do with slavery or anything else. They care that they have as many numbers as possible, whether they're bringing these numbers in from overseas or whether they're bringing them in from out of the country or whether they're having babies. They don't care. It's about having the numbers is what is important to them, okay? And what is it important for? Well, let's see what the next article says. Devilish. And this is from the Anti-Slavery Bugle, October 12th, 1850. Devilish. The following notice was posted up at the time of its date in Cambridge, Wayne County, Indiana. The meeting thus called was actually held, and measures were adopted to carry out the infernal object contemplated. Are these not Barbary states? Negro extermination. There will be a meeting held this evening at number 1 Commercial Road for the purpose of devising the best means to rid our city of the very great portion of colored citizens that now inhabit it. All are invited to attend, irrespective of which side of the question they may take, by order of the citizens. Okay? This right here is a quote from Margaret Sanger. Okay? And she's the one who invented Planned Parenthood. The most successful approach to the Negro is through a religious appeal. We do not want word to get out that we want to exterminate the Negro population, and the minister is the man who can straighten out that idea if it ever occurs to any of their more rebellious members. Okay, that's a quote from Margaret Sanger. And again, here's the quote just as a reminder so you can see what I'm really talking about. Okay. Benevolent elimination urged to solve race problem in the South. John Sharp Williams wants white immigrants to crowd Black men out, pleased at drop in birth rate. Okay? See, we don't really know anything about that history of population control. And we don't know that it still exists. And we don't know that the people in charge who were writing articles like this were openly in charge in the 1960s. And still in the 90s, openly telling you that they're Klan members and they work for this invisible empire, as they like to change the name of the Klan to. Okay. See, they're playing a game of Survivor with us, like on the TV show Survivor. But the problem is we don't know that we're playing. See, they figured out they couldn't destroy us by using guns, even though they tried. That's what Black Wall Street is. That's what the Trail of Tears is. That's them trying to eliminate us using guns. Okay? So they figured, okay, this isn't working. So let's change tactics. And instead, now they've decided that they're going to create different environments with the use of lack of resources in order to make us destroy ourselves. So they've changed tactics and they're using some art of war, Sun Tzu, Machiavelli, tactics against us, designed for us to not see what's going on. But anybody who studied any type of war tactics know exactly who Sun Tzu, Machiavelli, and these people are. We understand what the art of war is. We understand what power is, right? See, we feel the effects of what I'm talking about, but we don't see where it's coming from. This is the reason why we're having so many relationship problems, because I see all kind of videos talking about our relationship problems and how come it's the man's fault and how come it's the woman's fault. But I ain't hear none of them sitting up here talking about what we're talking about today, right? Because this is what's really going on. This is what's really going on. But we don't see that puppet master behind us playing us for a fool is what we don't see. They're setting up environments so that our women will stop having children with our men. And in that way, we'll just exterminate ourselves. See? What these art of war and secret battle tactics, you know, a bloodless war is the best war. This is how they think, okay? So they got a plan to just make us exterminate ourselves now. And this didn't just start in the 90s, okay? But it's the 90s that they went full throttle with this new plan. They came up with a new plan that they implemented starting in 1984 with Ronald Reagan. Okay. And then they put that plan in full throttle starting in the 90s. And this is the decade when they passed the crime bill, which is what started locking us up wholesale. Before the crime bill, nobody was locked up. Wasn't no black people locked up. The only people who got locked up is you got caught breaking in somebody's house. You killed somebody. It had to be a major crime for you to be locked up, right? But before that, wasn't nobody locked up, right? Right before the 90s, because they filled all the jails with people getting arrested over a plant, over drugs, right? This is their excuse to lock everybody up, okay? And today, there's more black men locked up right now than there are people in the rest of the entire world combined. There's more black Americans locked up right now than there are people in the entire rest of the world combined. So you got to let that sink in and understand what's happened to you. You got to understand what's happening to you. And we got some political parties out here. You better be tough on crime. Lock more of them up. Crime, drugs and crime. I don't want to hear that. See? Because I know where it comes from. Right? See? They changed gang culture into what it is today because the Crips and Bloods didn't start out as what they are today, right? They didn't start out like that. And if you read that literature and understand what's really going on with these gang cultures, you'll understand because gang culture gets deep with the symbolism involved, with the signs they throw up. A lot of them don't even know because they don't got the rank to even know what it is. They don't know the literature. Right? But those who know what I'm talking about, they know. Right? But this is when they started promoting the drug culture and they started using the music to do it, right? They took us away from being our women's protectors by using domestic violence and replaced our women's protectors, who used to be us, with the police. They started child support to get rich, and they have their retirement funds based off of our child support because we don't even know. And I made some videos about this. You need to go back and watch about how much of a scam child support is, how it's used to destroy our Black men. Okay. So the judges can retire off of our devastation. Okay. But this is when they implemented child support, because before the 1990s, there wasn't no such thing as child support, right? And they had a form of support, but everybody pays child support. See, we don't even know that. You pay child support whether you got a kid or not. But they scamming the system with these family courts. But like I said, go back and watch those child support videos so you know what I'm talking about. In the process of this child support, this is their way to destroy our families and take our men out of our children's lives, see? Because there's certain things that a woman's just not going to teach a man, right? Right? Women can't teach men and their boys how to protect themselves. That's a man's job. Women don't know how to teach boys how to be a man. Women know how to be the comforter. They don't know how to be the enforcer. They don't know how to bring down that law, right? They don't know how to teach men what men teach men. They don't know how to do that. They don't know how to protect the family. They're not the protectors. That's what the man does, okay? They further promoted the destruction of our relationships by creating division with their Christian values, okay? You're going to go to hell, don't cheat. They know how our men are. They know how our men look at multiple women. Right? They know how our men are. They know how to put the fire under the woman and start all this controversy and craziness and what we're going to do if we catch you cheating and busting the windows out your car and all this the drama. They know how to create the drama. Okay? Right? You can only have one wife if you're a good Christian. You can only have one woman. Right? They know we're not built for that by nature. Because if we was, then how come everybody keep cheating? If we was naturally built to be with one woman, then we wouldn't be cheating all the time. But we keep cheating. And the reason we keep cheating is because we not like the eagle. The eagle, the symbol on the American flag, right? The people in charge. They don't have a problem cheating. You don't see them sitting up here having these problems like we talking about because it's natural for them to be with one woman. It's easy for them to be with one woman. They don't got everything we got downstairs to want to share it with the world. They're not working like that. You understand what I'm talking about? Okay? They're not working like that. See, our brothers are like the lion. We like the lion. We want to get out there and especially the young ones. So look, we get a little older, we calm down. But the young ones, no, man. And if I'm wrong, then we wouldn't be cheating all the time. That's my point, right? It's easy for them. It's easy for them. They ain't got the hardware we got. They don't got these problems. They don't got those testosterone levels that we got. They don't got that. It's easy for them. It's not easy for us. And so that's why they implement these Christian values, right? To make you think you're going to go hell and burn forever if you dare sit up there and want to live some sexually satisfied life with more than one woman. Okay? So they create division using these Christian values. They create division using these DNA tests. And I know everybody want the baby to be theirs, but they using division. We don't see that division that they use with these DNA tests. And we don't even know if the DNA test is real or not. They could just be playing a game with us for all we know. They won't guarantee 100% accuracy. So how can we really know that it's really 99% accurate? We don't know. We got to believe them to believe that. We got to take their word for it to believe that. At any one of them giving DNA tests, they can be like, no, look, we need to switch it up. If this thing is even real, we need to switch it up because this person's doing some things. Let's ruin their life. They got the power in their hands. They got the power in their hands. And they know that's all it takes to destroy a relationship just like that. So I'm not saying women don't cheat, because women do, because all of us do. I'm just saying, look, so-called black people have proven that they cheat to the point where we got TV shows about it. We blowing up people about it. We getting caught on social media about it. So you're not about to deny this. Why we keep doing it? Because it's not in our nature. We're like lions, and lions have prides. Lions have prides when they're living in their natural state, but we're not living in our natural state. We living like lions in a zoo. Okay? Because when we go to Africa, them lions out there in Africa, them so-called black people in Africa, there's plenty of them out there living like what I'm talking about in their natural state. The only ones who's not is Christians. See? So they got these talk shows and these DNA tests that they start coming out with in the 90s to divide us. They took our blue-collar jobs away by moving them overseas. And they replaced them with healthcare jobs that our women could start working to take them out of the house altogether, separate them from our children, and make the woman the new man of the house. Since so many of our men lost their high-paying blue-collar jobs, and they started to promote this culture that the woman should be independent. She's supposed to be the new man of the house. This what they promote. This is what they promote. See? Now, our best and brightest have not been affected because they work the white-collar jobs, and they work the white-collar jobs never went overseas. See? So they're not put in the positions to sell drugs to live a fulfilling life. They don't understand what that means, right? They say be poor, go to school, and stay poor until you get 18, and then you go to college, and then by the time you're 22, you can get a low-level college job, and by the time you're 30, you're finally going to start making some money. So the average person, they're not trying to really wait 30 years, right? When they ain't got nothing to finally start making some type of money. The people on top don't get that. And they're not going to get it because they're not raised in those situations to where they got to make those decisions. They haven't been affected. And the people I'm talking about, these white-collar jobs, these are our leaders. These are our former business owners. So this invisible empire that's at war with us, they know they got to keep them happy. Because if they don't keep them happy, they're going to end up reuniting with the masses, right? So they make sure they get their bread. They make sure they get fed. See? They trick them into thinking that everybody can be a leader or get to the top of the business ladder through hard work. But only 15 to 20% of people are leaders. Okay? Leaders are just born to be leaders. Everybody's not a leader. So the people who selling this to our leaders, who sell us equality and make us think, well, everybody's the same. If anybody can make it to the top if they just work hard enough. That's just not true, because some people is not built to be in these high-level leadership positions. They're not built for that. That's like saying anybody can win an Olympic gold medal running track. That's just not true. Anybody cannot. Just if they work hard, it don't matter how hard I work, I will never make it to the Olympics running track. It's not happening. It's not happening. See? But our black leaders sit up here and try to convince our masses that if only they work hard enough, they'll sit up here and make it to the top levels of society and they can be rich too. It's not happening. There's a certain group who's built for that. There's a certain group of people who can sing. I don't care how hard I work. I will never be able to sing like Whitney Houston, like Luther Vandross. It's not happening. It's not happening because I don't got that. It's not in me to do that. I'm never going to sit up here and be able to dunk like Michael Jordan because it's not in me to do that. See, this equality is a big trick. Certain people are good at certain things and other people are good at other things. This is what it is. See? And we got to start understanding that and quit falling for this equality trap and quit thinking that, oh, you just got to work hard enough. You can do anything you want. No, you can't. No, you can't. It ain't about how hard you work. How many people is going to do a dunk from the free throw line because they worked hard doing it? A very small percentage. There's some people who can, if they work hard enough, be the next Jordan. There's a few people who can do that. See? But to try to talk everybody into believing that anybody can do that, that's a lie. See? There's a woman will never be the heavyweight championship and beat Mike Tyson. It's not going to happen. There's not a woman on the planet who's going to whoop him. It's period. I don't care how hard she works. It's not happening. It's not happening. If it is, then how come they not in the heavyweight division right now? Because it's a whole different class. Because it don't matter how hard any woman works, she will never beat Mike Tyson in the boxing ring. It's not going to happen. No matter how hard some of our masses work, they're never going to be the leaders of business because that's a skill too. Just like boxing is a skill, basketball is a skill, singing is a skill, so is being a business leader. So is being at the top of the business community. Okay? See? So we got to stop with all this, oh, well, you're just not working hard enough. No. There's certain groups of people who are good at certain things. There's certain group of people who's good at other things. No matter how hard the Chinese work to be the top basketball players, they are not going to win that. We are going to win that. We dominate the NBA 75%. There's a reason for that. Are there a couple of Chinese people who can play NBA ball? Yes, there's a couple who can. But there's just a handful. This is not their strength, right? But we're not about to go in there and win the math competition either. We not winning the math competition, right? Should white people not winning the math competition either? The Chinese got that unlocked. This is what they do. This is what they're good at. Okay? So we gotta get this out of our minds that everybody's just the same and you just gotta keep working hard and it's because you lazy. It's not because you lazy, it's because you gotta be good at what you're good at. And everybody got something that they're good at. See, as long as they keep tricking our leaders in business class to stay as far away from the masses as possible by blowing their heads up, you made it, so they should make it, okay? With their little equality trick, then their whole plan can work. See? But our leaders in our business class aren't our soldiers. Our enemy is concerned first with eliminating our masses, which are the blue-collar workers and the poor, the 80%. These are the people who normally would be our protectors, our soldiers, if anything crazy was to ever go down. Okay? These are our workers. So they have to go after them first. But they have to do it in silence. And keep our leaders fed so they don't see what's going on. Keep our leaders out of the neighborhood so they don't see what's going on. Keep our leaders distracted so they don't see what's going on. Keep our leaders blaming our masses because they fell for the equality trick and they don't see what's going on. See? But what our leaders don't know is once our masses are gone, right? Because they wasn't paying no attention. They was living their good life. See? The leaders, the business class, our women and children, see, they can be taken out at any time. At any time, as soon as the masses is gone. As soon as our soldiers are gone. As soon as our men are gone. Our blue collar, our 80%, as soon as the masses are gone. Okay? Okay? And that's why they pick on and work so hard on our masses. See? As a result of this plan to keep us separated, people with money aren't having all these relationship problems like the people who don't have money. See, they're out there living their best lives, staying distracted on social media and staying distracted with all kind of gossip. See, so they don't see what's happening in the communities, right? Because they don't even live in the communities no more. So they don't see what's really going on. Further, they're tricked into blaming the masses who are the same people who are keeping them alive right now without them even knowing it for the problems that they face. It's your fault. It's you lazy. You're not working hard enough. You should be able to dunk from the free throw line just like Jordan. You just don't work hard enough. Right? You 5'2", 105 pounds. You should be able to make that free throw jump just like Jordan did. You should, if you work hard enough. See, it don't work like that though. Everybody's not going to be like our leaders. Everybody's not a leader. Everybody's not got the business mind. But they've been tricked that anyone can be like them because of equality. And they stay calling the masses lazy and can't see who created the environment for our masses to act in the ways that they just hate. They don't see who created it in the first place, right? See, the masses of our women aren't feeling safe and secure amongst our masses of men anymore. And as a result, they're running away from the very thing that God made for them to feel safe and secure, which is our men. What a lot of men don't know is a woman will be with a man, rich or poor, as long as she feels safe and secure. But our masses of men who don't have the money that social media makes our women seem like everybody should have, feel left out because they can't provide what they think she wants. And then our women get tricked into thinking that there's so many more six-figure men out there than there really are. Right? And now, all of our women want at least a six-figure man now. And although everybody on Instagram and Facebook and all these social media platforms are rich, right? Everybody's rich on all of these platforms, right? When we leave our social media environments and look at reality, see, Black six-figure men are only 7% of Black men. So that means there's 7 out of 100 men. You meet 100 different men and you on average is only going to meet 7 of them who make 6 figures. And the 7 who make 6 figures are going to be on average over 40, 50 years old. So these 20-year-olds, you're not about to meet some 25, 30, 35-year-old on average making 6 figures. And this is the time when our women can get a man, when they in their 20s and low 30s, when their bodies still look good, because men look at women and look at their bodies, and that's how they choose. And they get the best one that they can get. So in this way, our women are very unrealistic in their expectations, and 93% of our men don't meet their standards because they don't make that six figures like they want. See? And this gets worsened when they make more money than he does. And how did that even happen? Well, because they took the $32 an hour per average job, those manufacturing jobs that we used to work back in the 90s, away from us. They took those jobs away from us and they moved those jobs over to China because the Chinese said, oh, you don't got to pay your Black Americans $32 an hour. And this didn't just happen to so-called Black people. It happened to white people too. But we was devastated much more than they were. Much more than they were. Okay? And they said, you don't got to pay them $32 an hour. We'll work for $1.32 an hour. And this is what they actually did. They said, oh, you work for $1.32? I will move over there right away. And then that's what they did. All throughout the 90s, early 2000s, they moved all the factories over to China. Every one of them. They making iPhones for $10, sell them to you for $1,500, $2,000 on a payment plan. Okay? Because it's how the corporate America, the white collar, they didn't move them over to China. They just moved those blue collar jobs over to China. Replaced the ones that they could with robots. So everybody got undercut. We got undercut. Especially hard. And I'm not saying so-called white people didn't get undercut too, because they did. They got undercut too. Okay? But we got undercut even harder. And what did they replace these jobs with? See, they replaced them with jobs for women that men aren't going to work en masse, okay? That provides the motherly instincts that women have to make them happy in the healthcare industry. Okay? You're not about to see no men, the masses of men signing up to be no nurse, signing up to be no LPN, signing up to be no RN, all these different kind of N's. You're not going to see that. Okay? But they had to do that. See, they had to do that to get her to work and be happy working, because they know if all they offer her is a bunch of manufacturing factory jobs, she ain't going to be working for long. They know that. So they had to give her something that they know she's going to enjoy. Okay. And it's in her nature to be a caregiver. So they said, let's just build the healthcare industry up for her. And that way she'll go to work, because somebody got to work. We took all the men's jobs away, and we replaced them with women's jobs. And what kind of women's jobs? Women's jobs that are natural and cater to her natural instinct to be a caregiver. This is the jobs they replace your manufacturing jobs with. Okay? They got to replace them with jobs that cater to that motherly instinct she has. See, in order to make sure they can keep up with the demand of these jobs, they got to put toxic waste in our food, like fluoride, just for example. It's only one. They got lots of them. Okay. They got to grow GMOs. They got to make all kind of drugs that have so many different crazy side effects. They got this one now that sit up here and just paralyze your stomach. Your stomach paralyzed. You eat and your stomach don't move. It don't digest your food, nothing. And you're just sitting up here about to die. And it's killing people, right? This is what they doing. So they made all these drugs legal so that you will be sick. This is what they did it for. Because back in the 90s, when all this started, these drug commercials were illegal. It wasn't no such thing as no drug commercial. It wasn't no such thing. But they on a plan to do what? To exterminate you. And all of them aren't in on the plan, but there's enough of them who are in on it. There's enough of them who are in on it. See? And the ones who are in on it are very powerful and very wealthy. And they got the money to sit up here and play this game. And this is what they do. Don't mean all of them are out to get you, but it's enough of them who is out to get you to where they getting you. See? We wasn't sick like this in the 90s, and now we are. And why? Because they trying to exterminate us as a people. And they can't do that if the so-called black woman isn't the head of the household. They need her to be the head of the household in order to exterminate you. See, if the black woman's sitting back in the house and she's not working and she's comfortable while her man is out there getting a job and he's making money and he's providing and protecting for her, what's she gonna do? She gonna have a whole lot of babies is what she gonna do. She gonna feel secure and comfortable. And when a woman feels secure and comfortable with her man, what she wanna do? She wants to start having babies. He wants to start having babies as well. Because we all have this inherent desire within us to procreate. It's called evolution. All of us have it. Animals have it. All of us have it. And the more prosperous we are, the more we procreate. So if she's sitting up here and you successful and everybody's making money, everybody's doing good, that means she's going to have lots of babies. And what we just read at the beginning. They don't want you to have no babies. That's the point of all this, to keep y'all from having babies. They don't want Generation A coming into existence at all. Some of us might remember in the 90s, the teenage pregnancy epidemic. It's an epidemic. These teenagers are just having babies left and right because they don't want none of y'all having no kids. They know them little 15, 16-year-olds fertile as all get out, having babies left and right. Teenage pregnancy epidemic. They having kids. They don't want y'all having kids. Y'all got to see through that. See? But back in the 90s, people still had a little sense of security about them. And women had realistic expectations on what they men could provide for her. See, because there wasn't no social media. And that social media, since she didn't have it, her expectations didn't get drove crazy high up. Okay? It wasn't even cool to have money back in the 90s. You was considered a sellout. You didn't sold out. We were still at that stage of the division at that time in the 90s. Okay? See? So they're making us all sick so they can keep the so-called black woman employed, making more money than you, so she can stay the new head of the household and raise our men to be faulty in so many different ways, because now we don't got our men in the picture no more, and she don't know how to raise them. She know how to raise them up until they get 12, 13 years old. That's when it's time to pass them off to the men. She has her part, because we can't raise them from 0 to 12, 13. That's not our job. Our job is to start really putting in our work from 12 until they get grown. But they made her the new head of household, just like on the little TV show that's like Survivor, Big Brother, right? They put these TV shows out to let you know what's going on. Don't think they don't, see? They know how to play with her emotions and take all of your jobs away by using her emotions against her without her even seeing it, okay? See? Women do like money, because there's security tied with money. They like safety, security. Those are two things women want. They want to be protected for, provided for. Number one and number two things women want. And they want protection before they want money. See? What they like even more than money, which a lot of us brothers don't see until the situation comes up, is they like protection even more than they like money. See? But we don't see how they took us away as her protectors, the number one job we could do for her back in the 90s, by using domestic violence. We don't see that. We don't see how they took our jobs as daddy away from us in the same time period, the 90s, by taking our children away if we had the audacity, because we had to start working, both of us. And if we couldn't afford daycare, what did the kids used to do? They used to just stay at home. See, now they want to lock you up for it, right? If you leave your kids home alone and you don't pay for daycare, oh, what you doing? We set up an economy. You ain't supposed to leave your kids at home, okay? You ain't supposed to spank or discipline your kids, right? See, they use CPS to steal our children away from us in that way, by making it look like we're abusing our children by leaving them home alone or spanking them, okay? See? I got left home alone. Me and my sister, we both got left home alone. We ain't had that problem. They wasn't trying to do us like that back then, right? See, whoever decides whether the kids is getting a spanking or not, that's the daddy. See, this is how the government became the invisible daddy without us really seeing it. And how can't you leave your own kids home alone? Like they just so helpless and fragile and can't do nothing. See? Because they need that money they done built to go to their babysitter economy that they give out all these government grants for. See? Because I got left at home alone with my sister all the time, and we was just fine. And I'm not the only one. Back then, everybody did. See? Even birds leave their kids home alone. We had a secret knock. Knock one time, pause, and then do some knocking. If we heard the secret knock, we knew it was mama and daddy. It was just that easy. See? And we would open the door. We heard somebody else knocking and they didn't do the secret knock, we was hiding. We knew what to do. Ain't nobody coming to your house in the middle of the day trying to abduct children. Ain't nobody doing that. We had the secret knock. If my mama and daddy wanted to call, we had the secret phone call. They called, hang up. Wait a few seconds, call back. Oh, that's mama and daddy. We better answer the phone. Hello, what y'all doing? It wasn't like they just left us there for dead. They call and check on us with the secret codes. They pop in on us on their little lunch breaks with the secret knock. This ain't no child abuse. We wasn't just going crazy. We was 6, 7, 8 years old, getting left at home. We big enough to stay at home. Come on now. Ain't no damn child abuse. But this is a systematic way for the government to enter our families' lives and to take our daddy role away from us as men. And that's the purpose of it. And we don't really see that, right? Now, men are also visual creatures. So we rely on what we can see, right? And women are more emotional creatures. They rely on their feelings and how they feel. And we can see that women like money, but we don't so easily see the safety part of what they like as much because we can't see that unless we're in the situation, and that situation occurs less frequently. Okay. So we know that women want protection, but it isn't as easily seen how bad they want it. And we don't get how important it is to them because we don't get in those situations near as often. Whereas we see that, oh, he got a brand new car. He got that drop top Corvette. Look, he just pulled her. You see what I'm saying? We see that happen all the time. We don't see the situation where we got to protect all the time. That don't happen near as often, right? So we get caught up in the things we can see. And if we aren't getting the women that we want, but the man who we see has money is getting that woman, then we start thinking that money, which has become so much harder for anybody to get out here, then that's the solution to all our problems when it comes to women. See, when there's so many other factors involved. See, when we don't feel like we can get what we want because we don't have the money for it, then we start acting out and we start doing things that are set up for us as traps to get what we instinctively want as men, which is women. See? And this goes back to the top two things that women instinctively want and will not be talked out of. No matter how good the arguments that men make, it don't matter how good of an argument you can make to a woman. There's certain things that you're just not gonna talk her out of because it goes against her instincts and it goes against evolution. So you're not about to talk her out of her instincts, no matter how much logical sense it makes to you. But men, being the logical creatures that we are, we think that we can have these talk shows and internet shows and talk women into wanting something that's outside of their nature because our situation has changed financially, okay? So since our situation has changed and the woman got to get up here and go out and work too, and now she feeling like, oh, well, I'm working, we equal, I can't come home and wash dishes and do all that. She don't look at it like, well, I'm going to cut the grass and I'm going to paint the house and I'm going to do the man work or the typical man work. She don't look at it like that. She like, no, cuz I'm not about to sit up here and go to work all day. I'm tired too. Ain't nobody doing nothing. Now the house done gone to hell, right? Because we both tired. See, it used to just be the man was tired, right? And she's sitting up there working to prepare your meal when you come home. And you see what I'm saying? She looking out for you, but now she got to work. So you think you want her to do the same things that she used to do when she didn't have to work. See, you tired when you come home too, right? So now both y'all tired. Now ain't nothing getting done, right? Ain't nothing getting done. And this is where the problems start. So men being the logical creatures that we are, we think we can just have these things and talk them into the way we see it. And we're not about to do that. See, because men don't think like women think. And we don't understand that women don't use logic to make decisions. Men use logic to make decisions. We can flip through our little feeds all day and we'll be like, yeah, look at that. That makes sense. And to us, it makes sense. And she flipping through and she like, that feel right. That don't feel right. This feel right. She's using her emotions. And that's the difference between us, but we don't really get that. So they use their feelings to make decisions. They don't use logic to make decisions. There's some who do to a certain extent, but that's not who they are. They're not built for that. And our situation has changed. It used to be to where we could go get a job that would support an entire family. And if the woman worked at all, it would just be some type of little part-time job that didn't interfere with her raising our kids if we had kids. Right? See, making money 30, 40 years ago was a whole lot easier than it is today. A whole lot easier. I mean, back in the day, everybody was just, their dream was to be a millionaire. $1 million. Well, if you had $1 million, you set for life. This is how we used to think, right? $1 million was enough to live on for the rest of your life. Now we got rappers out here spending $1 million on chains. And everybody want to be a billionaire. Well, millionaire, no, we want to be a billionaire, right? We constantly bombarded with this rich lifestyle. And everybody is rich on Instagram, right? So our women think that there's this rich black man out there waiting for in the, just, he is out there with the wind blowing underneath his wings and he gonna fly down and save her. This what she thinks. She think it's men out here like that. And it's a few who are out there like that, right? And the women who get those men, see, because again, only 7% of so-called black men make over $100,000 a year. And even a smaller percent who's in their 20s and 30s, right? You're only talking 1-2%. And what do we promote on social media? We promote them and their friends. And all the people who got money and all their friends. That's enough. They got enough people. When we talking about 350 million people in the country, 1% is still a lot. 7% is still a lot. So they can show the masses a lot of images and a lot of videos. And it makes people think that it's a lot more out there than it really is because they can put 10,000 pictures a day of 10,000 people balling out of control. But what we don't get is there's 10 million who's not. See, we don't get that. See, and the woman just flying through her feet. Look at everybody over here on jets and helicopters, and then they Maybachs, and everybody sitting up here balling out of control. No, you do not. You do not have to pack. No, I don't want you. Nope. This is what it is, right? And then she can't find what she want. Now she old and ugly. Don't nobody want her no more. Now she got a relationship with her dog. Next, the new thing will be marry your dog. Watch what I tell you. This is where these crazy people going with it. Right? See, 30 years ago, young adults could go work at the call center. See, they got paid $15 an hour back then. And back then, $15 an hour was a whole lot longer way than they do today. Okay? They get paid $15 an hour working at AT&T, working at the little different call center sale companies, et cetera, et cetera. They get paid that. We could go work for Ford, General Motors with no college degree, just graduating out of college, making $30, $40 an hour, building cars, manufacturing cars. And not just cars, it's all kind of high-paying manufacturing jobs. And it was paying $30 an hour on average, right? My uncle ended up making something like $80, $90 an hour working at Ford. He was getting paid when he was in his 50s. Them old workers factory, they were getting paid. Okay? See? There was all kind of high-paying jobs back in the 90s and 80s that our men could work and support an entire family with. There were still poor people. I ain't saying everything was just great back then. But what I'm saying is, it wasn't like it is today. It wasn't like today. Now we work in the food industry, the retail industry, the healthcare industry. That's 90% of so-called black people. That's all we do. We work at the mall, retail. We work at the food industry, the restaurant, or we work at healthcare. Those are the only things we work at. And the ones who don't work at that is working we got some business owners. Because like I said, 90% of us are doing those things. The ones who's not, we got some business owners out there, but we talking about our leaders again. And then we got those ball players, and we got the rappers, and we got the entertainers. Yeah, but these are the exceptions. Okay, these are not the masses, right? But before all this, before social media, women's standards weren't so high. See, they used to be realistic back then. See, but and then those call center jobs for the young people, they end up moving to India, right? And if they didn't move to India, they got replaced by the computer. Okay. See, same thing with the manufacturing jobs. They moved to China. And if they didn't get moved to China, they got replaced by the robots. See, and this all happened in the name of corporate America making more money, the stock market going up. This is what it's all about. And if you just multiply all of these corporate jobs that used to pay the blue collar jobs, the factory jobs, that used to pay millions of workers $32 an hour on average, and now that same job pays $1.32 on average per hour. Okay. They're saving $30 an hour and some change on average. Times that by 1 million for 1 week. See? They're saving multi-billions and trillions of dollars. And who's getting all these multi-billions and trillions of dollars? The people in charge, the white collar worker, the one who invests in the stock market, the owners of the company. That's who gets it. Okay? These are not the masses. Okay. And then the Chinese get paid $1.32 an hour to do that factory job. They over there committing suicide and everything else. Working 12 hours a day for the same job we used to work 8 hours for and don't get no benefits. We work 5 days a week. They would work 6. Okay. So as a result of them saving all of this money by moving all these jobs to China, this is the reason why 8 families right now have half of the money in the entire world is controlled by 8 families. Okay. It didn't used to be like that. That's why it is like that, because they moved all the jobs over there. See? So a shift in wealth occurred over the last 30 years in corporate America. And they're not just gonna voluntarily give you that money back and move it back. And they're not gonna voluntarily do that. Right? Now, I'm not going to get into the political conversation about it, right? But you got a certain politics that say, no, you can't mess with it, leave it alone. And now, y'all done took all the money away. You moved it over to China. You moved it over to everywhere else but here. You refuse to reinvest here. You want us all working at the mall and at the restaurant. And it's only so many. Those used to be the teenager jobs. Now those are the everybody jobs. See, the average manufacturing job used to pay $32 an hour with benefits back in the 80s and 90s. So Americans was making a lot more money back then than they do today. And like I said, there was still poor people back then, right? But the hood was a whole lot nicer back then than it is today. A whole lot nicer, okay? See, what relationship discussions, we had relationship discussions too, right? But it was nothing like it is today. Right? But this thing's been set up and designed and has been playing itself out since women have been made to enter the workforce in mass, which happened during the 80s and the 90s. Women didn't just start working because they wanted to. They started working because they got forced to. See, their men was getting locked up left and right and losing their jobs. The ones that didn't started getting paid half of what they used to make. So the women started having to work full time. So we lost our ability to provide like we used to, and losing this ability to provide like before, combined with the unrealistic expectations that social media has created that tricks our women into thinking 6-figure men are just normal and they're everywhere when they're only 7 out of 100. See, because everybody's rich on Instagram, right? See, this is a potion that spells disaster for our men. Okay? See? Or our women don't want to have kids anymore with anyone that they can't be proud of. And they can't be proud unless you're making money that don't exist. And it ain't even just that, because we done got so frustrated that we treat them bad now. So they scared of us because we treat them bad, and we not making the money that they want. I mean, it's just a big snowball effect that's going real crazy on us right now. Only ones who's out here doing good right now is our top corporate people, the top 7% making this big money. And then the really exclusive people, the millionaires, right? But again, money is one thing, but there's something even more important when it comes to women than money. See? And you can't make a gold digger video about this. This are harder to make, right? And the only reason they're making these gold digger videos is because men are frustrated right now, right? And the ones who's making it, they trying to sit up there and not get they don't want to be attacked, okay? Right? But there's something that's even more important that a woman wants than money, and that's protection. See, and they took our jobs away as the protectors in the same decade in the 90s as well, and replaced us as our women's protector with their police by running their domestic violence campaigns and scaring our women by using the media and they TV shows and they little Lifetime programs and they soap operas. Okay? See, now they think if a man is doing the things that he used to do, that they thought that this is what the perfect man does, right? Then no, because Lifetime said that's what when he's being the perfect man, he's really a secret killer. This what women really, they be watching this Lifetime show and they be thinking it's real. They be thinking it's real. You can't, this how they got the men to stop doing the stuff that they was doing. Because the women sitting up here reacting like, no, he doing too much. He doing everything right. He got to be a killer. He's going to kill me in my sleep. This is what they think. Remind me of my grandma watching the news back in the day. All she do is watch the news, think everything going to hell all the time. She ain't never even want to go outside. I'd be like, Grandma, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. She wouldn't even go outside. She thought it was that bad. She thought she walked outside, everything would blow up. But women watch these Lifetime shows on repeat, and they just scare them and condition them, right? Now, were some women getting abused? Absolutely. But when you got 350 million people in a country, see, they can find anybody doing anything. At this very moment, somebody is doing the most crazy, psychotic stuff that you can imagine right in this very moment, right now. But when you got all these cameras and you control the media, you can blow that up and find that in a lot of different places. And you find it in 50 places. Shoot, you got a week's worth of news right there. It's happening everywhere. And that's how they make it seem. They make it seem like they find these isolated incidents and then they put them all together. They find 50 people out of 350 people, which is like winning the lottery, right? The same chances you got it is happening to you is just like winning the lottery. But they make it seem like, oh, this is every day for everybody, everyday occurrence. Everybody's you better watch out. This how media works. And they know the power of the media. They know how mind control you. See, they made up a fancy new word called it domestic violence and made their police popular, especially after 9/11. See, because didn't nobody even like police before 9/11. Then they start after 9/11, everybody's celebrating the police are so great. You better not say nothing bad about the police. Oh, let's pray to the police. They're so great. They're your new protectors. This when it happened. Because there was a time before that when 911 was a joke. They had a song called 911 is a joke in your town. Okay? See? There wasn't no such thing as child support. And the last thing a woman was going to do was call the police for some help. If she was getting beat up, she wasn't calling the police. She was calling her daddy. She was calling her brother. She was calling her cousin. She was calling somebody who was going to get you. And she was going to let you know, you mess with me if you want. Make me call up my brother. Make me call up my cousin. Because that's back then, families was tight. The police wasn't protecting no women. If they was getting abused, they families was they protector. They men was they protector. They brothers, they cousins, they friends, the men in their life was they protectors. It wasn't no man, there wasn't no police. Wasn't no police to call. It was a time where our women could not call the police because the police come and sit up there and attack them too. They knew that. They knew don't call no police. See? But this all changed starting in the 90s. Now she don't look at us as her protector no more. Now she look at the police as her protector. Okay? And this would be okay if when she called the police, somebody who looked like us showed up. That'd be fine. Right? But we not the ones who show up when she called. Because we only 10% of the police department, period, nationwide. And there's plenty of places where there ain't none of us. Okay? It ain't none of us. See? So when she called them up, and they sit up there and punk you and beat you up in front of her and smack you down on the ground and put you in jail and say, yes, ma'am, what do you want us to do with him? We got him under control. Who's she looking at as her protector? Not you. Not you. See? So they done combined this police protection with CPS, making CPS the new daddy. The police are the new protector. Her new job in the healthcare industry is her new provider. So where does that leave you? She get all her validation from social media. She don't even need a compliment from you no more. All she got to do is, look how many likes I got. I got so many likes. Your validation don't even mean nothing to her no more. They done took all your jobs away. And we don't even see it. I ain't heard none of that in the conversation. See? Where's that leave you? In a place that she don't want to have nothing to do with. They done took your jobs over as the protector of your household, as the daddy of your household, the head of household. They replaced her and made her into the head of household. They said, you don't got to worry about him. Oh, if you can't provide for yourself, don't worry. We'll put you on a program. We'll put you on a program. He ain't got to educate you. He ain't got to sit up here and teach you none of his stuff that he know and how to work for him. We ain't doing that. You go to our schools. We're going to educate you. We're going to put you to work. We're going to provide for you. We're going to protect you. We even going to validate you. We got Mark Zuckerberg. He done figured out how to put a program to make you feel validated. We got you in every single kind of way. And if you ain't got a man, baby girl, we even make dildos. Okay, you can please yourself. Go get you a vibrator. This how crazy. This how they done took over every one of your jobs. Every single one of your jobs is men. They done took it. Why? Because they don't want, and she don't see it happening. They don't want y'all having kids. Okay, this is called population control 9.0. Okay. This leave you in a place that she don't want to be a part of. And as a result of you being there and us not seeing the game that is getting played on us, we don't do nothing about it because we don't see the puppet master and the high level of this that's getting played against us. We don't even see it happening. We don't see it. We don't know what playing against us, and we don't see the real result and the purpose of this whole thing to exterminate us as a people and make sure we don't have kids. And they ain't got to pull one gun out on us. They ain't got to pull one gun out on us. Because we just sit up there, all they got to do is stop us from having kids. That's it. It takes a couple generations, there's none of us left. See? She won't figure it out. And neither will our leaders and our business class until the masses are gone. until there's no more masses left. All the people they complain about when there ain't none of them left. See? That's when they're going to go to using guns. That's when they can go back to using guns because they got our numbers so small that they can just go crazy on us and they ain't got nobody to defend them. See? They done took out all our soldiers. They done took out all our workers. They done took out all our men. They took out that 80%. That's what they working on. Okay? So we gotta figure this thing out. And we gotta take our places back as men. We supposed to be the protectors of our women, not the police. We supposed to be the daddy of the household, not CPS. We supposed to give women validation, not social media. Okay? Those are our jobs. We supposed to please our women in the bedroom, not some plastic toy. That's our jobs. We supposed to teach our women, not their education system. We supposed to sit up here and open up some business and teach our women how to do this, have some type of vision, teach her and her follow us. We're the leaders, not them. See? And we got to take our roles back. We got to take our roles back as men. And it's not no easy job because this thing is so far along in the process. But if we don't get it together, it's not going to be none of us left. We're not going to be having this conversation no more. Because when there's a certain amount of us gone, are they going to go crazy on y'all women? Y'all think y'all just sitting up here living y'all life and doing y'all best life and retiring and living with your dog? No, it's not going to be that simple because they're going to take y'all out. As soon as they got your protectors and your masses out, they taking y'all out. All these little people who don't want to move out the hood and think that they can sit up here and all they had to do was sit up there and improve their own neighborhood and stay. They ain't want to do that. Okay, well, when your masses is gone, who's going to protect you? Because those is the ones who's going to protect you if it ever went down. And don't think it can't go down. Okay? So look, there's a few things we can do to really get ourselves back together. There's a couple things. We got to start trusting each other. I made some videos about that. So I encourage you to go back and look at those. And then we got to also know who we are. And we don't know who we are as a people. And we need to find out who we are as a people because it's going to open our eyes to so many different things. It opens our eyes to so many different things. We're not slaves from Africa. This is our land. We don't even know that. Some of us are starting to learn that. That's the good part. But we gotta get this thing back in control. And we don't have it in control at all no more. We've lost control. Okay, we've lost control. And it's been a little time in the making. But since integration, right? We gotta take it back. So if you like the videos, if you like the content, like and subscribe. Go to lostalongtheway.org. Get the video book. I wrote an entire video book. It's so important. It's such an important topic that I wrote about. And I encourage every one of you to get it. It'll change your life. It'll absolutely change your life. You'll know who you are. Okay? We got a flag. Okay? We got a name. And it's not black people, coloreds, Negro, all these little fake names they give us, people of color. That's not our names. We got a name. We got land that still belongs to us to this day. We just signed it over and we don't even know how or when we signed it over, but we do. Okay. There's so much for us to learn and we got a long way to go, but we'll get there. All right. But get the book, Lost Along the Way. Like and subscribe to videos. If you're into the videos, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think about what I'm talking about. Just talking crazy? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Hey, that's what the comment section is for. Fill it up. Let me know. Because I go through those comments and like to know, right? And if there's something else you want us to make a video about, leave that in the comments too. All right? So other than that, I'll see you next time. Peace and love.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.